So how important is sex in a relationship?
Well, we have to go into a lot here, Venus,
Mhm.
when we talk about that question. I love this question, though, and I've been exploring it throughout this entire time of working with men because it comes up a lot in the way that I hold it, in the way that I coach men, in the way I want to encourage them to hold their sexuality. And this is what I've come to know is it's only important when we make it important. And so one of the ways that we make it important is through our unspoken agreements. So one of those most important agreements is marriage. Now, most people will tell you, unless they're really conscious, that they never talked about a sexual agreement before they got married. And yet, you know that most people in their hearts believe that when you marry, part of that is being sexual partners, and part of that is being um, exclusive for each other sexually,
Mm.
even though most people don't talk about that piece of it either. They don't talk about why are we choosing monogamy? Why are we choosing to be exclusive to each other? Why is sex important in our relationship? And there are just all of these assumptions. And so when sex wanes, most couples don't know what to do because they don't have an agreement that they can sort of land on. When we have an agreement that's conscious, that's verbal, we can call each other back into the sexual relationship, right? We can say, hey, did you forget, this commitment we have to each other? Because it's assumed and it's unspoken, nobody knows what to do about it and nobody knows what to say about it. And yet it lives there as a very meaningful expectation. And therefore, if the expectation is there on one side or the other, it is important because without it, then the person who is not getting the sex that they want feels like somehow they've been tricked. Like this agreement that they made, whether spoken or not, has been violated. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely, it's a really difficult situation. I've been in that situation on both sides. For example, the side where I was the one wanting more sex and feeling desired, etc., and then I've been on the other side where I felt pressure to be available all the time. And I think there's also a lot of pressure that sex ends with penetration or is defined by penetration. When someone is giving you a massage and you think, I want the massage, but I don't want the sex. If you see what I mean. So I think it's really difficult to have the pressure of being available as well. I think that's a really difficult situation. Also, I think relationships go through different phases. Sometimes you're not as sexual as other times. You might be going through some really tough experience, which might not make you feel very sexual. But I always say to people who follow me that to maintain the intimacy, at least, the kind of the hugs and the kisses and that side, and the massage, it's like the physical closeness, not necessarily sexual. It doesn't have to be sexual all the time.